hello.
Oh.
Hello, how was your full moon, Helena?
Uh, my full moon, like the day before the full moon, I felt like I was very Aquarian. Like I was so weird. I was at work and just saying weird things. Weird things came out of my mouth. And
Like,
when you
give me
just,
an example.
I don't remember actually what I said, but I remember more like it's like the timing of saying things, like the rhythm is just like so off.
Okay.
And also, gestures when you're standing a certain way and then you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing with my arms right now, and you're just like, it's very awkward. So I was behaving super awkward for some reason the day before, and then after a while it hit me. I'm like, okay, it's an Aquarian full moon coming up and it must be that. So I very much felt like I was just being so weird, like, and everything. I was leaving work and I was saying bye, and it just came out, everything came out so wrong, and I said like, I better go now because this is
There wasn't a lot of flow, huh?
no flow. It was just the communications were just like very
That's interesting. It's similar to mine, obviously different, but the communication for me was not coming out well. I got spicy. I was extra spice. And I could feel this heat, this anger coming up. And I was like, all right, we're leaning into that Leo sun today. And I knew it was happening. And for me, Leo is in my fourth house. That's my fourth. The start of my fourth house is Leo. So parenting, home life, right? And all of this energy of this family. And I wanted to get things done on our land. It's been a lot of like not feeling well, or the baby needs me, or I haven't been able to do the things I want to do. And I don't know if you know this, but the weeds keep growing and the grass keeps growing, whether you get to it or not. And our property is immense and it requires a lot of diligence with keeping things kind of at bay, right? Keeping nature kind of back a little bit. And there's been areas in our yard that are just getting overgrown and it needed attention. So I was feeling real spicy, and I got the big three kids who are 14, 11, and 10. And I was like, outside now, you're going to weed whack. You're going to pick up the grass that I cut. You're going to do, and I had them all doing stuff. And if they even showed 1 ounce of rebuttal or arguing with me, I was like, no, I'm not in the mood. It was real spicy. And even Philip came over. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm feeling the heat today and I'm keeping my distance and I'm working it off with my body and I'm taking it out on the weeds. And he's like, anything I can do for you?
yeah.
Like, no, leave me alone. But then I burned out. I overdid it. And I know you and I just recorded a podcast about drinking water,
Yeah,
not burning out. And guess what I freaking did?
you burnt out.
And I gave myself a migraine because I got so dehydrated from over extending myself. I was using my scythe and I was cutting tons of grass that's like 6 feet high. Well, I'm only 5'4", so it's taller than me. And I was hacking and I was slicing and I was hacking and slicing, and I could feel my body going, hey, hello.
Enough now.
And then finally somebody went, okay, you're not listening. All right, we're done. And I felt this like powering down. And I immediately set everything down. I walked in the house. I grabbed my water. I started chugging my water. And I looked at Philip. I'm like, I'm not okay. I gave myself a migraine and ended up doing 2 astrology readings. And by the end of the second one, I couldn't function. And I was done for the night. Yay, full moon.
Yay, full moon. Yeah, there was a lot of people around me with headaches. I had a headache too, but my wisdom tooth started growing. I always think of Saturn.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, some Saturn thing. But funny thing, Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus. No, yeah. Was before Uranus was discovered, Aquarius was ruled by Saturn. So Uranus, Aquarius has some of that Saturnian thing in it as well.
Yeah, it does.
I still can't talk. I'm still like this.
I find that interesting that Saturn was the previous ruler in the traditional astrology, and then once Uranus was discovered through the use of technology, right, that became the ruler of Aquarius, and it does very much have this hard work ethic to it, right? I know all the Aquarius people I know are very hard workers. They're scattered.
Frontiers.
They're scattered all over, but they're hard workers on the things they're scattered on. And I remember saying that day too. I remember saying, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what I'm supposed to be working on. Like I felt like I needed to take action, right? Leo is like, hello, the sun in Leo, please take action. But the rest of me is like, I don't know. So I just went and cut weeds.
Yeah. And yeah, also I feel like I heard some colleagues talking about that they felt very like just no energy, just like very like zonked out. And I mean, it was an Aquarius full moon, and Uranus rules the nervous system, so I think that having Uranus so active, it will just overwork your nervous system. So I think there's a lot of tired people here in the world right now. Yeah.
Yep. My nervous system was definitely activated for sure. That's interesting. So we're going to dive into your solar return today. I'm so excited. We've been waiting to do this one for a while.
Yes. I had my birthday last week, and my solar return was the day before. No, or the day after. The day after it was.
Day after, yeah. So how was your bathhouse experience, your birthday bathhouse experience?
It was good. We usually, not usually, but we keep returning to this bathhouse place in Stockholm, which is inspired by like Japanese bathhouses. And it's very calm and quiet. And we just saunaed and swam and saunaed and swam.
I love it.
It was nice.
That sounds like a perfect birthday.
It was very calm. And then we had pizza and ice cream.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to top that off. And how many turns around the sun are you now?
35.
35. Getting there. I don't know where there.
No. Where am I getting, Laura?
What am I getting to? So your natal chart, you are the goat of our Ram and Goat, and you've got this Capricorn rising, Capricorn moon, Capricorn Neptune. And this year you're a Cancer rising. So it's like the whole wheel whoop, does a flippy flop.
Is this real? Is this for this year?
It's just, wait a minute. No, hang on. I think
it's for last year, right?
Yeah, I look at that. I have the
wrong. Yeah, because I was like, I was a Cancer rising last year.
There we are. Look at you. So now, nope, this year you're a Virgo rising. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, no.
I thought, man, I feel like I've read this chart before.
Yeah.
No, it helps when you have the right year. It's interesting to see how things change in a year, though, isn't it?
It is.
Look at all the Virgo you got. So Virgo
I know.
rising.
I'm happy about that.
And then, this is my favorite. Okay, so I've been looking at, when I'm doing readings, I've been looking at what is the first planet that shows up in the first house, right? Or where is the first planet that shows up in the houses? And for you, it's Pallas Athena. She's your wisdom goddess, and she's right after your rising sign. That's such a great planet to have. Bam. I'm going to be smart this year.
I'm going to be smart this year. In a Virgo way, so very detailed.
Oh, very detailed. Analytical. Are you going to get organized in a new way?
I think so.
Can you feel that?
Yeah. I can actually feel myself really noticing the details.
Okay.
Like when you sent me a logo, and I zoomed in, I'm like, I see a speckle there. What is that speckle? I'm like, I better let them know later if they want that speckle there or not.
That's funny. That's funny. I gotta check the speckle now.
I'll tell you about the speckle.
Oh, that's
But
so funny. I
yeah,
love it.
I'm happy about
Skill
this.
oriented wisdom. And then, so 4-degree rising, 8-degree Pallas Athena, 10-degree Mars. So your drive and ambition and ego and your protector is right next to your wisdom. You're going to be really protective of the way you show up and really driven to show up in this new analytical, organized, scrutinizing way, but being of service and focusing on health.
Mm.
Oh, I like that for you.
I do like that also for me a lot.
Food. Are
I
you going to get
picked
into
at this
food this year?
before.
Cooking more?
Something like that. I feel like this could be the year. Like I've been into herbs for a while, and I did like a small little herbal course years ago. But as the seasons go, they pass so fast, and I feel like year after year, I'm like, oh damn, I missed that one again. Oh, I missed it.
Yeah,
I hope, and I feel like this year could be the year when I get back into it and start heading out again and picking stuff like
foraging.
now harvest foraging and making my own medicines and things like that.
Yeah.
So more than cooking, I feel like that is calling me
I love
more.
that.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot more YouTube videos on foraging, a lot more plant identification videos, just finding out what's around my own land. I
Yeah.
think that's big time important for us.
Mm.
Oh, I like that for you.
Yeah.
So
I have
Virgo
a lot of
rising.
earth, so
Yeah,
much
you
earth.
are. Virgo rising, Virgo Pallas, Virgo Mars, and then you've got Pluto at 28 degrees Capricorn. He's still hanging out there. We've got Jupiter in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus on your MC. Oh,
That's right.
isn't it an interesting
Yeah, I was
thing there?
speaking. I was speaking at this chart before, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, nice, nice, nice." Oh,
Oh,
I'm
oh,
like, I'm not ready for change just yet. But you know what? This because straight away I'm going. Am I going to change my job? Because I don't want to. Because I'm very comfortable and happy where I am. But it doesn't have to be my job. That job. It can be something else. How I show up in the world and provide it.
yes. And if you do, this is such an ironic, or ironic's not the right word. What's the word I'm looking for? Where like Uranus does things quickly and makes sudden changes, but Taurus does not. Right?
Yeah.
So Uranus in Taurus does make changes, but I don't feel like it's nearly as fast as normal.
Mm.
If Uranus is in, let's say when we move into Gemini in 2026, right?
Yeah.
Then shit's gonna get bam, 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 right? Like
Yes.
then things are gonna change. But for now, we have this like change, but it's a slow reactionary thing. Does that make sense?
I think so. And my mind is going like, what kind of Taurian things will I be like? What kind of Taurian changes will I be doing with the way that I sort of give myself to the world?
Right. And it's
give
in
of
this,
myself.
it's at 22 degrees and 39 minutes, Uranus is, and your MC is 22 degrees and 22 minutes. Holy angel numbers there. Look at that. So
Yeah,
22,
that's
22. And so Uranus is just in the 10th house, ruled by Capricorn. So whatever you choose to change is, or whatever weird rebellious thing you're going to do is going to be a very hardworking, right? This 10th house, like there's going to be this effort put into it. There's going to be a commitment. There's going to be a structure. I'm so excited to see what shows up for you.
Yeah. I have a lot of things that I would like to do, but what's calling me right now is like community things. Like we have a community garden out here, and I want to like take that to the next level. But there's no time for that, so I don't know how that's gonna happen. But that is really calling me, and like being involved. I saw this amazing documentary yesterday. I have to find it. I have to find it, and I will tell you what the name is, because I was thinking about that for you too. I want to share it, and it's basically a documentary about in New Zealand. They have something called the this recyclatory or something, and they provide loads of people with food for free, and they have created so many jobs, and they like take old bikes and remodel them and sell them as new, and
Awesome.
urban farming in this. No, that's not the one.
Love documentaries.
Yeah, this thing is called urban farming in the city to feed the community. Together we grow. Together we grow. It is a really long title, but it's worth a watch, and that's really like, I feel like that is calling me. Community stuff, garden stuff, having a shared studio where I can get back into my artsy stuff.
Yeah.
Those things are calling.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because Venus and Mercury are in the 12th house for you this year. So that 12th house is that nebulous woo-woo space where artistry can happen, right? Where that flow space can happen, where that intuitive, dreamlike space can really unfold. And then your sun is there too. So the thing you love, the way your mind works, and your life force and vitality are all in the 12th house in Leo this year. So your assignment is to be courageous and bold and brave and play with the 12th house Piscean energy of art and dance and exploring the woo-woo realm. Come join me, Helena. That. Come join me in the 12th house this year.
Yes.
It's very interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, how many planets do you have? You have a lot in the 12th house this year.
For me this year, it's a lot. It was I think six or seven, and then Saturn's in Pisces for me in the 11th. So it was the 6 in the 12th house, and then Saturn in Pisces in the 11th. So for me, it was just all 12th house energy, which for me very much has been translating to flowing with spirit, flowing with the trust, and really letting go and trusting the crap I cannot see. Right? And that has been quite interesting, because it takes an immense amount of surrender to do that, right? It's like you're in the fog and you have to just keep moving forward, even though you don't know if there's a cliff in front of you. And if there is a cliff, you have to trust that spirit has you, and that you're going to land on something soft, or there's going to be something to catch, right? You have to trust. And I really admire people with a lot of 12th house energy in their natal chart, because it does require an immense amount of trust. I mean, I know you and I do have 12th house placements natally, but it's just an interesting flow state and an interesting surrender that I've been experiencing. So I'm curious to see how it shows up for you with Leo there. For me, mine's all Aries. So we both got the fire in the Pisces.
The fire 12th house. That's a funny combination.
It is. But what I see in your chart for this year, your assignment is learning these conjunctions. You've got Pallas Athena, Mars conjunct, pretty damn close to your rising. Then you've got Mercury and Venus conjunct by 1 degree in Leo, 29 and 28 degrees. Then you got Saturn conjunct your descendant over here in Pisces, 4 degrees and 5 degrees. Then you got Uranus conjunct your MC. Exactly. So there's a lot of energy merging in this chart this year that you get to experience in a whole new way.
Yeah.
A lot of conjunct. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot of conjunctions.
It is.
I'm
excited for most of them. Guess which one I'm not excited about.
I'm gonna go with Saturn.
Saturn on my descendant. So that tells me like I'm just gonna have some tough lessons about the way where I usually like my default sort of mode.
Yeah. That 7th house is how we partner with people, how we relate with people, how we do contracts, business contracts, and this is wherever Saturn is for the year is where you get to grow up. You get to be a big girl and put your big girl panties on. So
Yeah.
we got that in partnership this year.
Yep. Yeah. So that will really be about me growing up with partnership and the way I've used to handle it. Like the way,
Yep.
yeah, my default, and I know what my default is. So, so I'm a little bit like, okay, but I mean, it has to be dealt with. Those things, I guess everyone has them more or less. We have worked through them more or less, everyone here.
Yep.
And these are tough things to do in life. And I feel mine. It is tough, and now is the time, I guess.
Well, and every time I see Pisces, I always think of generational healing, right? Past life healing, generational healing, whatever you want your beliefs are, whatever came before you, right? And so we carry along these energetic signatures, these energetic blueprints from our own lineage in this life and from our soul's lineage with past lives. And I feel like this year, with the help of partnership, you can really grow in letting that stuff go, letting those energies that aren't serving you, healing from them, growing from them, maturing into them, right? Being the observer of them and going, okay, that's the way my parents did it. That's the way my past life did it. And I don't have to do that the same way anymore. I can take that lesson from that. I can take that lesson from that, thank them. And now I can form my own way of handling things, dealing with things, processing things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then the other energy that I see that makes me go, with this particular placement is your 5-degree Saturn, your 4-degree descendant is square to your 3-degree moon in Sagittarius. In the 4th house, family,
And
parenting,
home.
home.
Yeah.
And then that is square to your Venus Mercury conjunction.
Yes.
In Leo. So in the 12th house of generational past life stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Guess what you get to heal this year? Yay.
Oh.
So yeah,
Okay, yeah, I didn't see that before, but now it's clear. Okay, so that's
a giant T-square there, right?
yeah, a
Your
giant
moon
T-square.
in Sag, if you just take that placement and don't look at any of the relationships or conversations your moon is having, your moon in Sag just wants to have fun and look at the glass half full, right? Like put the blinders on. Let's just go have fun. No, I don't want to deal with those emotions. Those hurt. No, let's just go play. Let's go play.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, your Saturn and your Venus Mercury in the 12th and your Saturn and Pisces are going, no.
Yeah.
You got to go feel this. And you're going to be like, that doesn't feel good. I don't want to feel that. And it doesn't matter. You have to feel it. So
yeah, I do.
This is not an easy assignment. You certainly have a test this year, right? The solar return is the universal assignment for your 35th year of Earth school, right? And your assignment for this year is definitely to deal with some lineage stuff. For sure.
Yeah. Definitely like that. Yeah, 12th house, generations, 4th house, family, and parenting in 7th house, relationships. Like it is just so clear now.
Right? Isn't it fun when you see it and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, because before I was just looking at like, oh, so much Virgo, amazing. Oh, so much Earth. This will be great to, get
So
stuff done.
I think the Virgo rising and then the wisdom and the drive, right? Your wisdom, drive, and rising sign are all right there in Virgo. You get to use that energy to help you do the healing, right? You get to use your Virgo structure and scheduling and discipline to create situations where you will be able to deal with the generational stuff, the healing, the feeling. You can create white space in your life where every Tuesday night is my yoga meditation night and I have 3 hours to myself. I don't work those nights. I'm not with my partner those nights. I don't schedule friends those nights. That is Helena time, right? So you can have this white space scheduled to do some big time journaling, take a bath, go for a walk, go do your herb stuff, right? But really be alone with yourself to do the processing. And I see where the analytical, scheduling, disciplined Virgo, health oriented, service oriented energy can really be of service for you to be wise about the drive that you have to do the healing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And
I will need something to help me go there.
you will, because they're part of this square as well, right? They're really part of this interesting multiple T square you've got going on. So I think that being wise using that Pallas Athena, I really love pulling her into chart readings because she is really our strategist. She is our chief negotiator. She's the feminine, divine feminine energy counterpart to this Mars like bar fight guy, right? Like, right? He's the one stepping up, going, "Come on, I want to." And she goes, "Honey, sit down. I've got this." Hi.
Yeah.
I'm Pallas. Nice to meet you. How can I be of service? Right? Like she takes her feminine charm and wisdom to not fight if she doesn't have to. Whereas
Okay.
Mars is there if you need the fight, right? He's there. But she's like, "Sit down, honey. Let the ladies let the ladies do this."
Yeah. Well, that's good because I mean, now when I look at it, I have Saturn opposite a lot. I mean, it's opposite to Mercury, Venus, my ascendant, Pallas Athena, and Mars.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot of oppositions to Saturn, who wants to teach me about
Yeah,
less,
all within this
to make me grow.
5 to 7 degree orb. Yeah, they're really opposite. Yeah. Saturn's really going to help you grow up this year.
Yeah. Okay, I can see it now. So Saturn. Okay, it started. I mean, my birthday was last week on Thursday, and just a few days after that, my headache started and my wisdom tooth started growing.
A few days after your birthday.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and it's still like it has like growth spurts, and it's in a growth spurt now. I guess I'm in a growth spurt now.
You are. Well, and anytime you've got a Virgo Pisces axis, right? We have health and health, but the health energies are different. Pisces is health in the spiritual, emotional, feeling realm, right? And the healing of the generations. And Virgo is the health of the physical body, right? The being of service to yourself, taking your supplements, eating healthy food, drinking your water, right? I got it. It's here. I got it.
Drink your water.
I just
But I mean, yes, good girl.
So
we also have the Jupiter. Jupiter is also here. I feel like I just like switched to something positive.
Right, you're like, let's talk about something else.
I'm like, because what I was looking at before, I'm like, I'm gonna be traveling a lot this year. Yeah, how amazing! I'm gonna have so much fun. Moon in Sag and Jupiter in the 9th house.
Yeah, I think Jupiter in the 9th house, which is trine to your Mars. So you've got Jupiter at 13 degrees Taurus and Mars at 10 degrees Virgo. So there's a really nice, fairly tight trine right there. I think that's a really good indicator that your drive and ambition will be helping you to really keep learning and growing. Anytime you have stuff in the 9th house, that to me is like personal development, right? That is learning about new ways of doing things, learning about how other cultures do things, philosophical stuff, right? Dealing with the ways of other cultures, maybe even other realms, if you want to get really, really out there, right? So I love that Jupiter is in that 9th house for you because it takes the grounded stability of Taurus and then applies it to like learning in a new way and grabbing new ways of feeding yourself or taking care of yourself or that's a nice energy that Jupiter trine to Mars in Earth signs.
Yeah. Yes. I got so much Earth this time around. I was hoping for some more water. And where's my air?
No air except
no air.
One little asteroid. Ceres is the only air sign you have this year.
Yes. And series is about relationships as well. No, it's about like self,
Food, nurturing.
how you're nurturing yourself. Okay.
But
So
she's
it's in
in
my second
Libra.
house of Libra.
She's in Libra. So yes, for you, relationships. Yes.
Yeah.
So she's at 11 degrees Libra, and she's not really aspecting too much. She's not talking to many people. She's all by herself over there in the second house in Libra. And it's the only air thing you got rocking.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not talking to anyone.
She's not having any
It's just
conversation.
like playing her own game.
Yeah.
Like everything is going on with Saturn and Uranus and just squares everywhere, positions, and then we have Sirius like, da, 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 da.
I feel like this might be some of the energy you were feeling where your words weren't coming to you. That might be something you experience a lot this year. Look at Mercury's in the 12th house. So we've
Yes,
got
true,
Mercury
true.
opposite of Saturn and Mercury's in the 12th house. So anytime planets are in the 12th house, they are hard to consciously access.
And I natally have Mercury in Cancer. So I'm going from this Mercury in a water sign, which is not really great at explaining things, just I have a good imagination. And then
Yep.
now we add this filter of this 12th house with all the fog. No one's going to understand me this year.
You're going to need to walk around with a translator.
Yeah.
Google Translate. Sorry, here's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say, I think, right? I don't actually know. Hang on, let me consult Spirit and see if this is correct,
Yeah.
right? I don't know. I got
If it
nothing.
were up to me, I could just like make sounds. That would be enough. Just making sounds
Grunts.
and yeah, and gestures.
Gestures. That's very
Ah,
interesting. Somebody in my head said maybe this year you learn sign language, right?
yeah.
The
Some
physical
sort of sign
form of
language.
communicating, right? Use the earth energy
Yeah.
in physical form. So when you've got Ceres in Libra, this is really nurturing yourself to make sure that you have a healthy harmony and balance in your structure of your daily life, right? Second house is the foundation of your life, your home, your finances, um, your surroundings, how you decorate your space, right? Like all of the structure of your home. Make sure your lease or your apartment or your mortgage or whatever is solid. Make sure the contracts are all in place. Those things will make you feel nurtured and taken care of when the foundation of your life is good, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of energies of digging up shit from the past, right? A lot of crap from the past is going to be coming up for you, specifically in relationship. So Ceres in the sign of relationship wants to make sure you're stable in your own self. That feels good, but you have to make sure you're communicating your needs because it's the only air sign you have. So
Yeah.
speaking what your needs are. I need Tuesday nights to myself. I need you to leave the house on Tuesday nights and just not be here. I don't care what you do.
But this is exactly my problem. This is my seventh house problem.
Yeah. Natally
I mean,
or this assignment
yeah, no, in my life.
in your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Asking for what you need.
Yes.
Because
I don't do it.
and Cancer in the 7th house. Yeah. You don't ask for what you need.
Chiron
No.
and Cancer in the sixth, and I don't, and I know that I need to, and I'm supported. People tell me, my partner tells me, just like ask when you need alone time, ask for it. But even when I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna ask for it, and then when it comes out of my mouth, I change it. Instead of saying like, I need to be alone this night, I would say, oh, this thing is happening, but you know what? I can just go into that little corner and hide.
Okay.
And or like I can be over there. It's fine.
So you have an initial like, oh, I'm going to do it. And then you backpedal.
Yeah. Because
So,
I when it's happening, I feel like I am being selfish.
okay.
So I
Okay.
don't dare to ask for it.
Okay. So when you have Virgo here this year, this is going to be the drive in the first house. This Mars is going to be the drive for you to do I need alone time. I need 4 hours to just process these feelings that just came up. Right? So Mars is going to be your protector here to make sure you don't backpedal. And Pallas Athena right next to him is going to say, this is for our good. This is our wisdom. We know this is necessary. Do it anyway, even if it's uncomfortable. Right? So I like this energy for you in this first house. I think this is a great energy for you to lean into that healing you need to do. Is really being diligent and very organized about taking that time you need. Saturn is time, right? Taking the time you need to work through whatever you need to work through to process the feelings that don't feel good, right? Sagittarius moon is like, oh, let's ignore that shit. And Saturn is over here going, no, no, do the feeling. So with Ceres in this second house of stability and being in Libra, I think you're gonna know when your bucket is empty and when you need to realign yourself. When you're out of tune, out of balance, you're gonna feel it immediately because it's gonna rock your foundation. It's gonna be a foundational energy where maybe you do get ill, right? For me, that's how it shows up. Whenever I'm not okay, my body is the first thing to go, all right, we're done. You're not in harmony. You're not listening. I'm taking you out, which is what happened. So for you, I feel like that might be how it shows up is because it's an air element. It might be headaches. It very well might be headaches so that you can rest. Because what else do you do with a headache? You have to rest.
Yeah.
Your head hurts.
Yeah.
So your bucket filling, nurturing planet also has a lot to do with food. So creating healthy, balanced, healthy meals, right? Having a balance with the energies of the foods, warm foods versus cold foods, right? Having a good balance. We had pizza and ice cream. Good. We had something warm and something cold. Awesome. Right? Having that balance, getting maybe more into the Ayurvedic way of eating.
Yeah.
You know,
and I do know what my Ayurvedic like type is. So
you do? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm just dabbling in that.
Yeah. So I know that, I know sort of what's good for me. It's more about that thing. I mean, I actually know a lot. I know a lot about what I should do, what I should eat, all of that. But the question is just what I don't do is ask for it or give it to myself or take the time, because I am so much Capricorn. So I will be like, oh, I'll be fine. I'll just have some, some leftovers from the fridge that needs to be eaten, instead of like making a good nourished meal for myself.
Yep. And as far as
health, I don't need that.
As far as health goes, you're going to be transforming this year with Pluto in the 6th house. That's the only thing you've got in the 6th house. 28 degrees Capricorn in the 6th house. You are here this year to really transform your daily routines. Really be creative about your new daily routines, right? This is the last ditch effort Pluto has in Capricorn that we'll ever see in this Earth existence right now. And you got a little bit of it for the rest of the year. So you're going to be rocking some foundational changes to really redo the structure of your health and your routines and the way you take care of yourself, the way you are of service to yourself and others, making sure you're putting yourself first.
Oh yeah, that's it. Being of service to myself.
Because how in the world can you be of service to others if you are empty? And
okay, thank you, universe, for giving me so much Virgo, because this is all about being service, and I just need to remember I need to like be of service to me. That makes it easier in my brain.
Good.
Because I like being of service, and then because giving to myself or like feeding myself or like nurturing myself, it's a little bit tricky, but being of service, that's sort of work.
Right.
And I like work. So being of service to myself, that makes it easier in my brain to do, I think, to get motivated about it.
Good. I like that, because if you don't, Pluto's going to destroy some shit.
Yeah.
If you don't creatively change the way you are of service to yourself and your own health and your own routines, he will destroy it. I promise you. I have this natally. He'll
Oh.
he'll blow some shit up. It's really fun. Said nobody ever with Pluto in the
Yes.
sixth.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I hear that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Right. And here's just a real quick example. This morning, baby is going through a growth spurt and nursing a ton. And I nursed a lot last night, and I ran out of water in the middle of the night. And by 7:30 this morning, the toddler comes in, Mama, can I have milkies? And I was like, okay. So I nursed her, and then we all kind of fell asleep for another hour, and we woke up at probably about 8, and I was famished. Like, my body was screaming at me, you need sustenance now, right? And the baby actually woke up. He wanted to nurse again. Toddler wanted to nurse again. I was like, no, I cannot give any more to either of you, because the buffet is empty.
Yeah.
There's no food available for you. And I had to have a really good high protein breakfast with eggs and sausage and whatever, and water and tea. And I feel like I'm still not there as far as replenishing myself, because I was giving and giving and giving and giving. And I probably would have caused another health issue had I not said no. So making sure you do not cause yourself some health issues by overgiving is definitely your assignment this year. Definitely. Is that a thing in your family? Was there people that just overgave?
Yes. Well, I know, for example, my mom doesn't give to herself. She just gives and gives. I have to say stop to her.
Yeah.
When she's giving to me. I have to say stop, and then she'll be like, no, but and she really wants to give and give and give and give. And my granddad was a Pisces. He departed, came up in my head, departed. He died when I was 14 or something, so I didn't really know him that well, but he was a very kind man. And then in the family history, I know that there's been people having things like land being taken away because they gave out loans and money that they never got back, so they lost a lot of land and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit to go and explore. Absolutely. Because that, especially money, right? So Ceres is in your second house of money, and Venus, your planet of money, is in the 12th house. So there's definitely some money healing to do this year as well, for sure.
Yeah.
And if you've had lineage where they gave loans that weren't repaid and they lost their possessions, they lost their land, their investment, that could easily come down through the lineage, through the generations. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is that because you saw Pluto in the 6th house? Is that the main reason why you would say that?
I think there's a couple reasons. I mean, Pluto definitely is that transformation with your daily activities and the way you're of service to yourself, but it's also in Capricorn, which is hard work and your foundational energy, right? The structures that you put in place for yourself. So I see Ceres in the 2nd house and Pluto in Capricorn both indicate this energy of taking care of your foundation, taking care of your home, your finances, the way you really build your life, and making sure that you are healing. What's the word? Someone wants to make sure that you have to heal receiving things. Do you receive well? Anything. Receive compliments, receive gifts, receive things well.
I'm better at it, but it's definitely not like natural. It doesn't come naturally.
Yeah. So I think working on that receiving energy of the feminine energy, right? So the masculine is the giving, and the feminine is the receiving the energy and really nourishing and using it to nourish you. So there's a receiving healing, wound healing that needs to be addressed as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel that for sure. Like not only in this solar return chart, but theme for my life is also something like that, and I feel it physically now. What you said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You've got Chiron in Aries this year, and he's in the 8th house of transformation and death, rebirth, renewal. So again, we've got some themes here of really transforming these wounds, right? These deep wounds of self-esteem, self-worth, whatever the thing is for you. This is a big fiery transformation year. And anytime I see Chiron in a fire sign, I just think of the Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
And then of course it's in the 8th house. So then we got another kind of Phoenix theme of like something has to die. A part of you has to die. So this new energy, this Aries energy can be reborn. And I'm really excited because it's trine to your Mercury Venus conjunction in Leo. So that's an exciting energy of using the energy of spirit, using your intuitive nature, your intuitive powers to really know when to go deep into this transformation, into this letting go, into this healing. And doing it in a fiery way. You're going to burn some shit this year.
That's very unlike me. So that's pretty like a little scary and also a little exciting to see how that will go. But yeah,
have you done fire ceremonies or anything? Is that something you've ever done?
I mean, I love fire, but I haven't done. Maybe I've done 1 or 2 or something like that, but not really something that I've been like practicing.
Yeah. Maybe that's a thing
Yeah.
you start doing, is some fire ceremonies where you really like write down some stuff and really do intentional burning, right? Go out to a field, go out to a park and do a ritualistic kind of burning thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've not done too much of that myself, but I can see you really enjoying that this year.
Yeah.
Like
No,
that really transformational energy of burning.
yes. I love it. I love the sound of fire, when you look into a fire to burn stuff up.
I do. I
I do
really
like it.
I like
Okay,
fire.
well, I like that it's supported in that way. So the 8th house and the 12th house planets are talking to each other through that trine. And so that tells me that whatever Saturn stuff I'm going to be going through, it will have some support.
Yeah.
From a few different directions, actually.
Yes. Yeah, and whatever you do with your transformation with daily routines with Pluto is going to be shaking up that Chiron wound, right? That's how you're going to, it's almost like you're shaking the snow globe by changing the way you live your life on a daily basis and changing how you take care of yourself. You're going to be activating that self-worth, self-esteem issue and turning it on so that you can deal with it. And then once you activate it and create that awareness around it, then you can really lean into your spiritual side and your mantras and your meditations and your whatevers, right? Whatever you're doing with that. And the Mercury and Venus can really help support that healing of that wound. 35 is a big year. I know 35 was a huge year for us as far as massive transformation, massive death, rebirth, renewal. That was when our marriage just about fell apart. Like there was a lot of really intense partnership transformation with us in our 35th year as well. So I feel like we're kindred souls in this department.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side going, it's okay, you'll make it. You'll make it.
You'll make it through. Yeah, it feels like with this solar return chart, I know for last year's solar return, I just felt with all of that Cancer energy, I was like, I had a lot of Cancer energy, and then I had like this year Mercury in Leo, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be just soft and nice, and then I will be able to speak my mind more, and that is sort of true of how it was, and it felt good. And this year feels a lot more like a challenge. Like I'm looking at an uphill from this angle, you know?
It does feel like that, especially with your moon down in the 4th house, right? It's one of the only planets you have down here. And it does feel like you're looking up, like, oh man, look at all the work I
Yeah.
have to do, right? You're looking
Yes.
up at Saturn, you're looking up at these guys in the 12th house. Like,
And looking up, and it's like I'm looking up at this hill, but there's a lot of like crazy trees in the way. So I don't really see where the path is, like where I'm going. And
much earth
I
in
hope
your
I'll
way.
be going up, you know. And then behind there lurks Uranus
Right?
and the MC conjunction.
That's a really interesting one because if you look at that Uranus MC conjunction, it's trine to Pluto in the 6th
Yes.
house.
Yes.
Look at how many conversations Pluto's having. He's talking in a sextile to Neptune. He's talking in a square to Chiron and your North Node. He's talking in a trine to your MC and Uranus. He's opposite your Sun. And he's sextile to your Moon. That's a lot of conversations from one planet in your daily routines and your service to yourself and your health. So
Yes.
it's a lot of stuff that could activate health issues should you not embrace this Pluto this year. Don't ignore Pluto. If
I
you do,
won't.
it's
Yeah.
at your own peril.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like a many like there's more than one focal point here. I feel like
Oh
usually
gosh,
it's like you go to one place in the chart, but here I'm like looking at the moon. I'm
all over.
looking at all over, and like you know, this huge point from all directions going to that Venus and Mercury conjunction. There's so much going on and pointing towards that. There's even that finger of God thing. What's that
The
called with the
yod.
green lines? The
Yeah.
yod. Yes, yes. It's even that. And I don't know what you know by yods. The only thing I know by yods is it's sort of like that finger of God. Like it's like a divine like point. Like this is something really important over here.
I
This
want to
is
say it's
you
like
know
a spiritual calling or
yeah,
um there's a Deborah Silverman
something
was
like that.
in our school we dove into it a little bit, but I have not studied it too much, but it is called the finger of God. And this article at astrostyle.com says a small number of people are born with this rare formation in their astrology charts called a yod, or known as the finger of God or the finger of fate. And the yod in astrology is often found in charts of people whose lives are colored by intensity and constant adjustment. So that would
Okay.
be your assignment for the year,
Yeah.
right? The
Okay.
musician Prince had 2 yods in his natal chart. Princess Diana and both of her sons have birth charts with yods. And Meghan Markle has a double yod. Isn't that
Okay,
interesting?
interesting. That's really interesting. And
So
it's with Pluto and Neptune pointing
it's with
to
Pluto and Neptune pointing to your mind and what you love and relationships in the 12th house. So we got spirituality, Neptune in Pisces, and then that is the one base of the yod. The other base is Pluto in this grounded Capricorn in your daily routine. And then they're both pointing at this 12th house energy of your mind and what you love. Oh, I'm so excited to see how you transform this year.
yes.
It's
Oh my
really
God.
interesting. The deeper you dive, the more colorful things come out in the chart.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot. But I'm also, I mean, there's also a grand trine here. So I'm just trying because now I'm
There is a grand chart.
so Saturnian in my mind now. I'm just seeing like the struggles. But so I just have to like see these things like, okay, great. We also have a grand trine, Sun, Moon, and Neptune.
Yep.
Okay, myself, my emotions, and
Your
my
artistry.
intuition and my
Yep.
artistry.
Those are
Yeah,
nice
a year
places.
is a long time.
That's a nice energy between your vitality and life force and your emotions. I'm glad to see a trine, 4-degree sun, 3-degree moon. That's a lovely trine. Like while you're going through all of these transformations and doing the healing, your inner world and outer world will be harmonious. Like that's great.
Yeah.
And Thank God for that, right?
I mean, we're like literally picking out the golden little sand corns here, like, let's find something nice in here. Let's find something easy and flowy. Oh, I even have a kite.
You do have a little bit of with Neptune involved as well. So
Oh, I was looking at the Pluto kite.
Pluto kite. You have a oh, you do have a Pluto
Yeah.
kite. Yeah, my head's like upside down. You do have a Pluto kite. Pluto
Okay.
Neptune, Pluto Moon, and then Moon Neptune, and then Neptune to your Sun and Moon. Interesting. So this is just transformation, spirituality, emotional healing, and life force vitality. You know, like there's so much with spirit involved this year. So much. Whatever spirit is for you, right? But I see a lot of lineage stuff, a lot of intuitive spiritual stuff. I can see your spirituality really developing and growing and maturing in a new way, and that is directly affected by and has an effect on how you do your daily routines, like what you do every day. You might wake up every day and start meditating like you've never meditated before, right? You might wake
Mm.
up and do qigong or tai chi, right? Some type of meditative movement. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something zen like, very right, very centering. I keep doing this like motion down my face and my center of my body, like really aligning your chakras, right? That feels really good.
I feel really all over the place. Like today, in my mind, in the last few days, and also looking at this, I feel so scattered. Like there is,
There's a lot
I
going.
don't know. The thing I think I will take with me from this today is to like give more service to be of service to myself, because that feels accessible, and the other stuff, all this karmic stuff and the generational stuff, that will just show itself. I don't know yet
You don't
what
have
that
to
is.
work on, yep. You don't have to
Yeah.
work on that. That'll just come up.
Mm.
And the yod, this article says that the natural tendency between the planets in this aspect, you have to look for a point of balance and compromise, because the planets have involved potentially have that chaotic effect, and it requires that finesse to navigate. So looking at this aspect, you got to find again this balance and compromise, which is what Ceres in Libra is asking you to do. So I think the balance and compromise for you really looks like finding a new form of peace and a new way to be of service to yourself. That's really what that looks like for in as I'm interpreting this chart, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, how interesting, because we go through this life and we think we know everything about ourselves, and we do. Most things just happens on default. Like we go about a day and we do the same things we did yesterday, and this is how we drink a glass of water, and this is how we comb our hair, and etc., etc. There's so many different ways to do everything.
Yeah.
Like you can basically change your whole life by just changing your routines.
Yes. Yeah, and there's so many studies on that now, especially with the way meditation and mindfulness practices are emerging, right? And on a global level, it is unbelievable how many people are getting into meditation, because we've gotten to a point where society is so stressed by all the technology and all the demands and all the everything. We have to find a balance, right? We got to get that balance in there. And Ceres is trekking through Libra for everybody. Like she is in Libra currently. So this is your solar return chart, because that's where she's in the sky. So
Mm.
everybody is feeling the effect of learning how to nurture themselves in a new way to find harmony and peace. Find that balance with that Libra energy. And for most of us, most humans in this Earth school existence, it looks like centering yourself so that your mind, your heart, your nervous system, your digestive system, everything can work efficiently, and the stress can be, right, just set down. And it doesn't mean we don't have stress. It means we handle the stress differently, right? And that, I think, is the biggest takeaway for all of us, but for you mainly because this is your second house of your foundation. So I see a lot of people really embracing meditation and mantras and waking up in the morning, and instead of checking Facebook, going to the meditation app instead and doing a 5-minute breath work, 5-minute guide, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You can check out into social media for 5 minutes and it's gone in a blip, right? Versus if you did 5 minutes of conscious, focused breath work, you can reset your whole system. Or you can check out into whateverville, which is really what Saturn in Pisces is asking us to do, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Ooh.
Saturn in Pisces wants us to create that structure and new routine with the way we do our healing and feeling. And we have two options. We can check out and go towards that fish that's lost in the reels in social media, or lost in the random news articles about,
So easy
whatever.
to love.
Yeah, whatever political thing, whatever the government wants us to believe at this moment, right? Or we can work on us and we can get ourselves centered and ourselves in a happy, healthy state. And there's so much studies and so many, articles coming out now about the benefits and the health effects, the long-term positive health effects of just taking deep breaths, right? Like, all right, everybody listening, whoever's listening, and you too, let's all just take a deep breath. And we can do it again because they're free. Let's do another one. What does your body feel like when you take 2 deep breaths?
I just felt actually now a shift, like I just really calmed down. Everything settled a lot more. There was a lot of, and sometimes you don't know, you go around with those things in your body all the time, like minor sort of feelings of anxiety, or like little stomach crampies or whatever, and you're just so used to them, so you don't think of them. And then you stop and breathe.
Ta-da!
And you notice, oh, something feels different. I don't feel that tightness in my stomach anymore. Where did that tightness come from?
Right. For me, it feels like imagine a dog or a cat when they just got, startled and their hackles go up, or their cat tail is real puffy, right? And everyone's like that. And then I take deep breaths and I feel all of the hair just kind of settle. And I feel this this like, it's really a settling for me personally, a really intense settling of my nervous system. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
My whole nervous system goes, oh, I didn't know I was
exactly.
I
you don't know that you're so tense.
Yeah.
And like in reflexology, there's a point on your foot. Okay, if you're looking, this is your foot, and then back here on the heel, sort of very far back there, is the point for your anus. And a lot of people, most people, when you touch that point, when you press into it, they feel so much pain, because people walk around tensing up their butts all the time, because I do that. I catch myself standing doing the dishes and I'm like, why is my butt so tense? And it's like a fear-based something, because when you get scared, you have to tense up your butt.
Yep.
And a lot of us walk around that all the time, and especially if you're someone who has a lot of issues, like a fear of failure or fear of not doing things right. Like you have a lot of the
word coming to my mind right now is emotional constipation.
Yeah.
Emotional, like we literally close that sphincter and keep all of our emotions inside.
Let it loose.
Let it loose. Yep.
Yeah.
Because we are a series of tubes, right? That's what humans are. Earth school is a series of tubes. You put things in one tube and it goes through the tubes and it goes out the other tubes, right? Like,
wow. And it's such a pretty package, though.
It is.
Yeah.
I
A
love
bunch of
that.
tubes, but in a pretty package.
It is. And we have to keep the energy flowing, right? I'm listening to a book right now. I'm in a book club and we're listening to a book called The Energy Codes by Dr. Sue Morter. And I highly recommend everybody listen to this or read it, physically read it. I don't have time to physically read crap right now, so I have to listen to everything. But it is all about healing and really healing, like healing old traumas through these yoga poses, these specific yoga poses, and bridging the energy gaps. So whether we have a chasm or we have a blockage, whatever it is, the energy can't flow anymore. And so she has been bestowed upon her this gift, and late in life, not like she wasn't like born with this. This is something she kind of discovered, and these energy codes and how to bridge and heal and get the energy flowing again. And it's a phenomenal book. I really recommend it. And I can, as I'm listening, there is somebody in my head. He's like an old codger that's just angry about life. And he thinks this is so stupid. And he can't believe we would even consider something like this. And he's got his arms folded. He's like, this is hocus pocus and doesn't work. Right. Like as I'm listening to the book, I can hear him. And I'm like, who is that? And I think it's important to honor these thoughts we have, these voices, whatever it is, and keep listening with an open mind anyway, or keep reading with an open mind anyway. And what if Dr. Sue Morter is right? What if these energy codes do work? What if me being in this goofy yoga position, doing this goofy breath work, what if it does work and it releases that sphincter, right? And it lets
Yeah.
my emotions out. What if it works?
Release the sphincter.
Right? Release the sphincter. But she talks a lot about the root chakra, and she gives it a special word, an Indian term. But she talks a lot about that specific area and that sphincter and all of that. So you might be interested in that book too, The Energy Codes.
Yeah, I mean that sounds great. Yeah, and there's so much about the root chakra. About now, I'm thinking about my moon placement in the fourth house, for example, with this T square going on, because the root chakra is sort of, yeah, it's your safety, security. That's
Yes,
what it's about.
absolutely. And for you, emotional safety and security. So yep, it's time to do the work. I bet this book would really flow well with your assignment for the year. I feel like that's
Mm,
probably why I brought this book up. You need to hear it. And
yeah,
whoever is
cool.
listening, if you're listening and this book is pinging you and you're like, that sounds like something I need, you should probably listen to me, because usually that's an intuitive thing
Yeah.
coming through. Oh, is there anything else you see in your chart you want to talk about, or does that feel like it's good for you for right now?
I think we've gone through them all. I think so. I mean, what I'm thinking about now, I'm like, okay, root chakra,
Yep.
service to myself,
Yep. Changing your daily
flow,
routine.
changing my day, working on changing my daily routine,
Yep.
uh, going with sort of the changes that's going to happen and being open to, because if you're rigid and changes happen, you just crack. So
Yes.
I have to be soft and flowy and moving when things are happening with these generational stuff and relational and within my home and all of
Yep.
these things. So and also I have a little note to self in my head to not get too analytical, because there
Yes.
is so much of that Virgo. I don't want to get, because I have a lot of Capricorn. I
You
can
can be
analyze
quite
stuff
judgy. You got the
and get
judgmental down.
judgy. Yes, so I'm a little scared. Like now, I don't want to become super
Well, and
analytical about others and
that's
myself.
where I think Saturn in the seventh house will help you, because there's going to be partnerships that will help you to go, hey, no, don't do that, right?
Mm,
Hopefully you have friends in your life, your partner, people at work who can, me, right? Whoever you're working one-on-one with, who can go, hey, be more gentle with yourself, right? Take some time. The maturity and the healing takes time. Saturn
mm,
is time. So if you're analyzing and judging and scrutinizing, lean on a partner who can help you to soften, right?
mm,
Call a friend, do a phone a friend, right? Phone a friend and have them talk you down. Have them do your breath work with you. Be like, hey, will you just, this sounds weird. Will you just take a couple deep breaths with me? Can we do a meditation together? Right? Whatever you need to lean into that growth with partnership.
Mm.
Be
Yeah.
with yourself though.
Yeah,
Lots.
I will. I think, yeah, I'm gonna implement some water stuff too, because there is not so much water, and I feel like I need more water in my life this year with all of that, so much earth,
And
so much fire.
I
Oh,
have a feeling some shit's gonna get burned this year. There may be a couple of forest fires in Helena's life, and that's okay, right? That's okay. But as long as it's not very windy, so the winds won't pick up and spread the fire too far.
yeah,
You don't have too much wind, but you do have a lot of fire and a lot of earth for the fire to burn, right? There's a lot
yes.
of trees and combustible things
Oh
for
yeah,
the fire energy to consume. And you have to work hard, Saturn, on pulling the water in. You really have to work hard, and that requires partnership this year. The only water placements you have are Pisces, and it's only in the 7th house. So
yep.
you really need, and your Cancer energy is 11th house, and the Scorpio energy is 3rd house. So you have to communicate when you need help. You have
Mm,
to ask for help from people. 3rd house is
exactly.
communication, 7th house is partnership, and 11th house is community. You need water energy from your community, and you need to speak it out that you're in need of some support.
Mm,
I'm burning.
amazing.
I'm burning. I need some
Oh
water.
crap. Yeah,
Oh, that was a fun chart. You have a very interesting assignment for your 35th year.
I do. I'm a little bit like overwhelmed right now.
Good.
I thought this would be like like, oh, we're gonna talk about my solar return, bleep 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 bloop bloop bloop, sort of light. This is not light,
not light. No.
but it's okay. It's okay. I mean, forest fires are also to have that generate new
Yes.
growth.
Yes. And
Mm.
that's what I see happening. And for you to then move on in the maturity realm of the next half of your 30s, right? Leading into the next decade, there's going to be a whole different way you function. Like you're just not going to be functioning the same way anymore. And I love that for you, because that is what the 30s are for, right? To learn how to apply the wisdom that we're learning as we grow. And this year is
Definitely.
wisdom year for you.
Okay, good. We have a thumbs up. Wisdom year. Okay, yeah,
Oh,
I
love
feel good
this.
about it.
Good.
I mean, it
Good.
is what I came here to do. So,
Well, that's the thing. And what I
yeah,
love about solar returns is it's just a year-long assignment, right? This is the grade you're in. Like think about school. There was
that's
a
the grade
grade.
I'm in. That's cool. Yeah.
There was a grade you were in school that I promise you was not a good year, right? Like maybe your sophomore year or your freshman year or whatever, your 9th year of school or your 8th, whatever it is. You can think back on school and go, ooh, that year wasn't so good. But it was a year. And then you moved on and you grew and you learned and you matured through that. So I like to think, well, at least this isn't your birth chart.
Thank you.
Stuck with this energy forever.
Well, and this is someone's birth chart, though. Like, I mean, the people were born that day. Um,
Yeah,
but
whoever
that's what
was
they're here
born
to do.
in Uplands, Vesby,
Yeah.
Vesby.
Upplands Väsby,
Yep, whoever was born then on July 28th at 7:45 a.m. has this chart.
2023.
2023. Go find a baby who
Yeah.
was born that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. There'll be a baby.
Watch this reading.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, no chart shaming, but it's just, I mean, you have to be able to also feel like some things are tougher. And for someone else, this chart might have been like, oh, that's amazing. And
Yeah,
for some, no, not so much.
exactly. Exactly. And that's what I love about astrology is you can I mean, we've been laughing about it. This is some heavy stuff, but we've been laughing about it and we've been turning it into the positive and looking for solutions, right? That's where we're solution oriented people. Like, okay, so that's a big square or T square between those planets.
Saturn. Nothing, no biggie. Saturn and the moon. Oh, and Venus. Oh,
And
Mercury.
Mercury.
And also Uranus is also squaring, by the way, your Venus.
Right. Yep. You got it. You got it. It's cool. Oh, this has been fun. I do love diving into solar returns. If anybody listening is interested in getting a reading from Helena and I, we take private readings and we would love to dive into your assignment for the year. This, for me, is especially helpful to go back on and listen to later. So I have had solar return readings by other astrologers. I know we've done it for me. I go back and I re-listen to that as the months go on. And now for me, we're like 4 or 5 months past my birthday. I just re-listened to our episode when we did ours. And it is so much more relevant now, right? Like things are coming out as I'm living the assignment, as I'm going through the grade. And I'm experiencing the energy of it in reality. And it's so cool to keep going back and, oh, that's what that, oh, there it is, right? There's a lot of puzzle pieces falling into place. Yeah. So solar returns for me have been a phenomenal understanding of why is this year feel so weird? Or why is my husband doing plays on stage? This is not who he is. Well, with this Sagittarius rising for his solar return, and all his crap in the first house, yes, it is, right? So it makes more sense to me for the assignment or the flavor of the year than just the keep continuing to read the natal charts. So, well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Whoever's listening, we appreciate it. We always thank everybody who chooses to listen to us, who, you know, there's so much information in the internet to consume. So thank you for listening. If you'd like to buy us a coffee or tea to financially support the show, we'd so appreciate it. And please share it with somebody. We'd love to see our numbers keep growing. They're growing slowly but steadily. But we love to see those numbers grow and reach more people, because this is something that really can help people tremendously. And we like to play. We like to have fun with it. So if you'd like to get a reading from us, shoot us an email and let us know. We'd be happy to set that up. If you want to be on the show, shoot us an email and we'll get you on the schedule. And be flexible with us, because
yes, please.
That's how we work.
Yeah.
If you're going to be judgy about scheduling, then don't come to our show. We require flexibility because we live on the opposite side of the earth from each other. Yes. And we're both quite busy people. But we love all of our followers. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. Yes. And we'll see you next time, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Ram and Goat Astrology. You can support the show by buying us a coffee or a tea. Link in the show notes. Your financial support means the world to us. Join us next time.